Okay, we're going to take a look at the contribution calculation tool. I will have the address down below in the um, description of this video, and you can bring that up and follow along to use it to your own later. So once we come to the web page, we're going to first click on Owner. This will be to make sure that this tab is blue. We'll come down to the next level, and we're going to select which great building we want to use. Now in this case, we're going to be using a Chateau Frontenac, and we'll come down here to GB Investment. We'll be going from level 14 to level 15. So over here, level 14 for level 15, so that will be 15 here. If you put it down, it will change these numbers here. So this will be level 15. Percentage of global investor ARC bonus. This is the ARC bonus of the thread that's being used of the ARCs. So generally, for a 1.8 thread, it would be 80%. If it was a 1.7% thread or 1.7 thread, it would be 70%. If it's a 1.9, put it to 90%. But because we're using a 1.8, we're going to put 80% right here. We can skip down through all of this here right now, and we'll get the information. So on the left-hand side, we'll start here. This is reward spot 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. These are these spots right here. And spot 1 shows 140 reward spot point. So as we come across here, default rewards are 140. It goes now with an 80% arc, or I should say a level 60 arc, that gives an 80% bonus, or 1.8. 1.8 times 140 will give you a total of 252. So that is the total amount that the investor will put on your ARC, or your great building, your chateau. 252. They will put in 252. They will get 252 points out. So it's 252 free points. So, but someone may come in and put in 253 points. Maybe they have a level 80 arc and they have a 1.9% bonus. They can block me out. Now I will lose. My reward spot would be 2, and I would only get 126 FP back. But I've invested 252. So I have to find some way to lock in me getting first place. So this is a very important rule with using the 1.8 system, is that all the FPs that you, the owner, will put onto the great building have to be self-funded. You cannot put them in swaps. You cannot have other people donate to your great building. Only the investors can be donating to your great building. So I need to put 436 forge points on to my great building, or this Chateau Frontenac. Once I do that, I can list places 1 and 2 into a open chat, or the 1.8 thread. So I will come across here, click these blue buttons off, and now I will generate a message down below that will include spots 1 and 2. I put 436 forge points on my chateau first. Then I can advertise via these messages down here. And there's different ways and formats. Do I display the whole name? No. Yes. Do I use the shorter name? Yes or no. Do I show the level? Yes or no. More information is okay, but the more experienced player needs the bare minimum of the information. So you can see here it's a Chateau Frontenac going from level 14 to 15. Spots 1 and 2 are open. That means that I have put 436 forge points on my chateau, and it will open up spots 1 and 2. I will copy this message, and I will go to the message center. I'll find the 1.8 thread, and I will post it here. And I will then just paste the message. And people understand that The Chateau Frontenac mine is open and available to be locked. The first donator will put 252 forge points in, and the second donator will put 126 forge points in. That's 378 forge points for free, just right there. So what we're going to look at now is that's the general gist of it. And you'll do that again. You'll put in when you put a total of 472 forge points on. Now you can open spot 3. When you put in a total of 499, you can open up spot 4, and 508, that will open up spot 5. And spot 5 is usually 0 or just a few forge points. And spots 4 and 5 are great for picking up blueprints. Spot 1 is great for good metals and a great amount of blueprints. So you can see down here the level cost total from level 14 to level 15 will cost the owner 900 or myself 940 forge points to level up. The total investment of me is 508 forge points. Let's take a look at that. So I will put 508 and divided by 940 equals minus 1. So I'm getting a 45% return rate on the FP that I put in. So if I put 508 FP, I get 45% of that above 508, which equals 940. That's all free because the investors with their level 60 arc or greater will put in 252 forge points to spot 1, but they will also get 252 forge points back when this Chateau Frontenac levels. Now, 45%, that's decent. With swaps, you're only going to get about 9% return. It has to do with the random availability of which great buildings are listed at the time, when did you collect, how much forge points do you have available to throw down when the great building comes up, on the messages, how active is your guild. So really, this way is the best way, and by far will help you accelerate the levels in a way that you could never do with swaps. So this is just level 15. Let's go to some of the interesting levels, like around the late 30s and early 40s. So let's say we're going from level 41 to level 42 using someone's 80% arc to help me out. As you can see here, the default rewards are 495 for place 1 on the Chateau Frontenac. I only need to put 48 forge points in to open up spot 1. Now I'm getting 891 free forge points. Place 2, well, it's also open for 48, and someone's going to put 450 forge points to me. Spot 3, I have to put a total of 183, and then all the way up, I only need 291 forge points out of 1,830. So let's do that math. Let's see what the profit margin is there. So 291 minus 18, oops, minus divided by, let's try that again, 291 divided by 1830 equals minus 1. It's an 85% profit margin. So I only put 291 forge points on to level this Chateau Frontenac, and I will be getting 85% of this 1,830 forge points for free, because again, the investor will put in 891 forge points to lock in spot 1, but they will get 891 forge points back. So you might wonder, what's the goal of this? How does this help out the investor? Well, there's a couple ways. So let's go back here and we'll look at my arc. So my arc is a level 80 arc. So that means I have a 1.9 contribution. So I can get a 10% profit on the forge points. So it helps you if you get your arc up higher, you can start making profit. Now the other part here is the um, the reward spots and their medals. So let's take a look at this Cape Canaveral here. So see here, and we go over to the piggy bank here on. This is not going to let me move up here. I should have screenshotted this. So reward spot 1, which I have, is 985 forge points. You can see I'm also going to get a bonus of 887 forge points, but it also includes the medals and the blueprints. So don't forget, after level 10, I need a set of blueprints for every level. That's 9 blueprints per level. So if I donate to this arc or this Cape Canaveral, I will get my forge points back. So that's a zero-sum gain. No problem. I don't need the forge points at this point. But what's most important to me is that I will get 13,734 medals plus the 12,361 medals combined. So let's just say, rounding up, that's going to be 25,000 medals. So I'm going to start opening up expansion points. And those expansion points can be used to put down more great buildings or other FP producing buildings. It's very important. You get 12 extra spots open, and you can put a lot of extra FP generating buildings down. And blueprints, of course, naturally I would get 14 blueprints, but I get an extra 13. So that's 27 blueprints I would get from just this level of adding onto or donating to this Cape Canaveral and locking up place 1. So really, I've spent 0. I will get all my forge points back. I have 0 risk of losing it, and I will get it all back. So it doesn't cost me any forge points, but I make the medals and I make the blueprints. And that's pretty much how you use your ARC calculator. If you have any questions, just contact me through Guild messaging or through Kit or DB, and Mike or Builder or any of the other people that have been around, and we'll hopefully answer all your questions.